They're back. We had such a great reaction to both of you on the channel that I had to call you back for this Meghan Markle video that has truly broken the internet. And I'm assuming, Dr. G, that you might suggest that was the ultimate objective here.
Okay, so Meghan and Harry are back in the spotlight again, and apparently the latest Meghan video has broken the internet. You've got to admire the way this duo can keep people talking, even if it's mostly because people are scratching their heads and wondering, wait, what is she even doing? The first thing you notice is that the whole thing screams viral strategy.
I think you're spot on with that. Yeah, I think that was largely the point of recording this in the first place.
So you're like straight to the point. She wants to go viral. Scott, when you watched this video, and I might every once in a while pull it up. I apologize in advance to not only you, but the viewers at home. When you initially saw this video pop up on your algorithm organically, I'm assuming, because it really did just go, it bounced off the walls. Did you think it was a parody? Because I did, Scott. I thought that this was AI. I thought this cannot be real.
The reason I didn't think it was AI is because it looks like the stomach is fake, where the baby. I swear that's the first thing I thought, because I know you have monitors and stuff on you
Yeah.
when you're in that situation. So she's got that dress over, but I thought, oh, this is just fake. I don't know why they're doing it. And I realized this is old. I thought it was something new, but it
Oh,
was something that's old, and it, a couple of years, I guess, or however hell it is, and that it was just a bad decision. Is what it hit me when I saw this. I was just a bad decision a couple of years ago.
well, this will, to either one of you, please chime in. But to Scott's point, Harry and Meghan have dealt with conspiracy theories surrounding the birth of their children. And the reason that it's important to royal watchers is because for their children to be in the line of succession, they have to be born by Meghan Markle. It has to be Prince Harry's child. They can't use a surrogate. And so people are saying, we deserve to know if these children are in the line of succession, if they truly came from Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Now, they have never addressed the rumors head on. I don't think. I mean, I don't think in Spare, Prince Harry actually writes about the stance in Spare, but I don't think he ever addresses the rumors of whether Archie and Lily were born, came from Meghan Markle's womb. But it is something that I have always tried to be like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't, I look at Meghan Markle in that Oprah interview. I see a heavily pregnant and slightly angry woman. So that's why that's why these rumors continue to persist, is like this conspiracy theory is out there. It's been out there for years. It's never been addressed head on. And both of you, please comment if you have anything to say. But I have read several experts, PR experts on the internet over the last few days that said this video did nothing to help that. In fact, it just reignites the conversation. Scott, do you have a reaction? And then Dr. G?
I believe it does reignite that situation because it doesn't look real to me. There's so much that's missing from this, as from a body language perspective. Of course, that's the first thing Dr. G and I look at, is what's happening with this person. Him more from a psychological standpoint than me, but I'm not seeing any stress in there. I'm not seeing two people who are worried about having a baby. I don't see that connection between the husband and the wife, where he's saying, look, everything's going to be fine, because she should be scared to death. As over the years, I've seen so many little babies. I've been right there when they were born, and I've seen that interaction of the parents beforehand. I mean, an inordinate amount of times I've been there to do that. No kidding. And we're not seeing the things we should be seeing. There's too much smiling going on. Another thing that's the first place I go to what's missing. There's no anxiety in there. There's no worry in there. There's no eyebrows up and her trying to connect with him to be reassured. We don't see any of their personal items laying around the room anywhere when they're dancing around either. So that there's a lot of things that are missing in this that should be there. Way too much energy. They're missing that lack of being worn out, because a lot of times it's either early in the morning or late at night, and they look well rested and in a good mood.
All right,
It
Dr.
doesn't
G.
look right to me.
Well, I'm glad you said it, Dr. G. You go ahead and go now.
So obviously I'm a psychologist, not a physician. So there may be physicians out there that are like, yeah, this is totally normal. Like, looks perfectly fine to me. But my anecdotal experience with my wife, who was very, very large during pregnancy, the idea of her moving like that would have been impossible. She just couldn't have done it. So, she was pale, she was swollen, she was very large at the time. The idea of her getting low like that, I just don't know if she physically could have done it. So it is shocking to me. It does look very strange. Like I said, there may be medical professionals that disagree and say it's totally normal, but to me, it looks quite odd.
I mean, but let's be honest, we are complimenting Meghan Markle on how low she can get. Okay,
That's
let's
so true.
let's let's look at the glass half full situation here. Congratulations to Meghan. She was able to get pretty low. Uh, Scott, talk to me about the confidence you saw in her, because I saw a lot of confidence in Meghan, in her dancing, in her face, in her it's giving performance.
It doesn't feel like a casual, intimate moment. It feels like something deliberately staged to get attention. And honestly, that's probably exactly what Meghan wanted. From the jump, Scott and Dr. G, the commentators in this clip, are calling it out. Meghan wants to go viral. She's aiming for views, engagement, and the online chatter that inevitably follows. And the wild part? The video initially looked so strange that some people thought it might even be AI generated.
Yeah, and that's a focused performance as well. Again, she may be in a situation where they're inducing the birth, so she may not have been given this. She's not having contractions, I don't think, at this point, because she's not doesn't look worried that they're going to be more and it's going to be bad. We're seeing all this space between her arms and her torso. I've never seen someone who's getting ready to have a baby be all like their hands are very close, and their hands are close to their chest, their arms are close to their body. It's a protective thing we do, especially when you have that anxiety and that stress and that worry going. So the confidence we're seeing it's almost ridiculous. That's why it looks to me it doesn't look real from a standpoint of somebody being worried about their baby when that's going on. Neither one of them
Yeah.
does. So the eye contact she has with the camera, she's probably just watching herself.
Oh,
But the confidence through this thing is through the roof, because they're under the impression, I would think, that everybody's going to be watching this and look at this. We're having a baby, but man, we've got, whatever we got this covered and all that. But that's a bad look for anybody to do.
yeah, Dr. G, do you feel like they're making this for themselves or they're making this for the world?
To me, it looks pretty clear like they're doing this for an audience. It doesn't feel like something that they're doing for themselves that's meant to be intimate and funny that they can go back and watch later. It looks like they're doing it for an audience. And frankly, it looks like they're doing it to irritate. At least that's my takeaway. It's like knowing how inappropriate it is, knowing that people are going to see it, or knowing that the royal family will watch it and will feel like it's inappropriate and that it's not something that they should do or should be doing publicly. So to me, it seemed like it was as much to agitate as anything else.
Yeah, I think that you're onto something there. Because, Scott, we know, thanks to the timeline, that at this point in time, Harry and Meghan have signed a contract with Netflix, a very lucrative contract with Netflix. And they have been secretly recording for this big docu-series that was actually built up over years. They went through one production team, brought on a brand new production team. Almost at the very beginning of this series, you see Harry recording himself on his phone, getting ready for his freedom flight on Tyler Perry's private jet. They're escaping the evil royal family. Thanks to Tyler Perry, they're going to go live in his house for free during the plague. And we also see some other intimate moments clearly shot on an iPhone. Harry and Meghan watching themselves back on the Oprah Winfrey, during the Oprah Winfrey interview. Meghan's mom seems to be recording them on a cell phone as they're watching in a room their Oprah interview. So it does feel like while they say they want privacy, and while they sue newspapers for invading their privacy, and while they sue photographers for invading their privacy, it seems like they are stocking up on footage to inevitably shill. Like they're inevitably, I mean, I think this was perhaps recorded for the Netflix crew.
Yeah, well, I mean, to me, there's something we can tell when something is authentic. That's just something that innately we do well as humans. We can't necessarily explain why, but we can look at it and go, there's something wrong about this. And that's what so much of what we see is it looks like it's a performance. It looks like it's something that's meant to be seen by other people. So that's very much how I see so much of what we see of them is that even if it looks like it's supposed to be an intimate moment or something that's caught on camera, it's all set up, it's all prepared, and that's how it feels.
Oh
I
my
don't
gosh.
think they're very good actors.
I know that you have probably not seen this, but one of the most cringe parts of the docu-series is Meghan claims she doesn't know she's about to be proposed to, but she's on the phone with a girlfriend FaceTiming, and she takes the phone with her to this elaborate picnic setup Prince Harry has set up outside, and she's conveniently screen recording while FaceTiming. And Harry proposes to her, and it's again it's supposed to be one of those authentic moments, and you're like, how are you conveniently already recording your screen while FaceTiming with a friend right before Prince Harry proposes to you? It's just hard for a normal person who doesn't live on camera. Of course, if my dog has all four paws up in the air, I whip out my cell phone. That's gorgeous. It's adorable. There's 3,000 pictures of my dog sleeping in my phone, but I don't walk around filming myself. And I am Meghan's age. It's just not something that I normally do.
There's this weird, almost uncanny vibe to it. The movements, the way she's positioned, the whole energy, it doesn't feel real. And that's actually the crux of a lot of the criticism. The video looks off for anyone who's seen a genuinely pregnant person in action. Meghan moves in ways that, for a real late-stage pregnancy, are unusual, almost impossible. And her energy is way too high, too happy, not what you expect from someone in that situation. Finally, let's not ignore the broader cultural angle.
What's the name of that, Dr. G? Isn't there something where people think that they're the star of their own show and everybody else is like the second? They're like members or the second banana in the show?
What young people call it now is main character syndrome, basically.
That's it.
Which is the idea that they're the main character. And one thing I'm very curious about is there's so much of this, and I don't want to sidetrack us, but I do wonder if the younger generations, like the Gen Alpha and all that, will be able to identify what is and isn't authentic the same way that we can, in a sense, because so much of everything we see online is just fake. My reaction, like I said, immediately to these things is, yeah, it's set up, it's fake. They're not very good actors in that sense, but there's so much of that, there might be a point where people can't tell the difference anymore.
Well, Dr. G, sorry, Scott, I'm going to get to you in a second. I love you. It's to have main character energy is probably going to be pretty difficult in a royal family where you are the backup dancer. Like you are not the married to the heir. You are always going to be second fiddle. Does this explain a lot of why I look at that video and I go, this is exactly why she was never going to fit into the royal family, because there's etiquette, there's decorum, there's, a lack of, like, let's avoid all vulgarity if we can. It's giving Fergie with her toes in somebody's mouth on the cover of a tabloid. But having main character energy, that might have been what tipped off Prince Charles at the time and Prince William, that this might not be the easiest ride.
Absolutely. I work with a lot of families in a therapeutic sense, and people who are unwilling to make any sacrifices to work with a family, to like make the family function better. Those people that think they're too important for that's going to create problems. And that very much seems that there is a complete unwillingness to make sacrifices for the family, particularly in public or anything else. So I think when you believe you're the main character, you don't need to make sacrifices. Everybody should see how important you are, and they should listen to you, and what you have to say is the be what everybody pays attention to. So yeah, I absolutely think that there's certainly a lack of insight. I mean, I also think about what's it going to be like when her kids see this video? Like, it just seems so, like, people can film whatever they want in private, but the idea of posting it just feels so vulgar and strange to me.
That's what I'm like. Do it. Have fun. I have fun and laugh about it in bed 10 years later. But this was to honor your daughter's 4th birthday. What a bizarre way. Like, twerking with your, like, I think Jeremy Kyle, when him and I watched it together for the first time, he's like, her ass is everywhere. I almost died. I want to ask you, Scott, I thought she sincerely looked like she was having fun. Dr. G is right. There's a lack of authenticity that she reeks of it. She should bottle that and sell it. It might do better than the jam. But I do think that she's vibing pretty high in this video.
Yeah, and when you're dealing with the narcissistic personality type, you when you're in a situation like this where you're under the impression everybody's going to be seeing you in this ultra intimate moment that nobody else could see, and it's just you and the quote unquote quote prince there. You're in nirvana at that point because you're getting all this attention because you're a princess or whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know what the story is and all that. I have no clue what she is or anything now. But you're the main focus of attention. Boy, that's where they want to be constantly. And another thing that we know that this is not just for each other and something that's slipped out or anything, is because when you're in a situation like that and you have this intimate moment, you're not looking at the phone, you're not looking at the camera, you're looking at your person because you're goofing around for them. That's who the show is for. Whenever you, believe me, take it from a professional. I was a professional kid and I goofed off all the time. And so when you're goofing off with somebody, you dead eye them. You're like, hey man, as you're doing your goof off thing. And there's none of that. There is just for a couple of seconds, but there's not that connection there that should be there.
In the age of social media, carefully curated intimate moments are the norm. Everyone posts, edits, and performs the likes, views, and attention. The Sussexes are just operating at a much higher, more scrutinized level. But the difference here is that they are royals, so every misstep is amplified. Ordinary people can get away with awkward home videos. Meghan and Harry can't. And that's why this clip is a perfect storm. It's funny, awkward, performative, and ultimately polarizing. It sparks conversation, keeps the Sussex brand relevant, but also reminds the world why the couple's relationship with the royal family has always been complicated. In the end, the video tells us more about Meghan than about Harry, or even the specifics of their personal life. It shows confidence, boldness, and a desire to control the narrative, but it also exposes the performative nature of their public persona. The dancing, the smiles, the energy, it's all for the camera. And while some people might see this as fun or viral-worthy, for others, it's awkward, calculated, and a little hard to watch. Whether it helps or hurts their reputation depends on which side of the audience you're on. But one thing's for sure, they got exactly what they wanted, everyone talking. And isn't that the point? Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.